All right, we're back with another live agent call. I'm going to pull up the notes. This is all the important stuff. Make sure that you have your notes ready so you know what to reference. The worst thing is getting on a call and you don't know what call you're actually calling about. So, let me see here. We have our properties here. And I'll put the screen record so you guys know what we're looking at. 1230 is right here. Alright, his name is Kevin. And this is the address. It's a condo, but the monthly fee is really low. So this could work for us. I have Zillow open. And I have PropStream open. So I'm doing both just so I have something to look for. I'm going to lean on him for a lot of what I'm going to ask him as far as information about it. I want him to kind of audibly share, why it's worth what it's worth, or, why they think it is. It looks like they have 2 condos. And so let me just pull this up. I just want to see. There's another name on one of them. So I want to see if we can figure out if they're joint owners. It's linked. They own a few condos. Okay, so they own a few condos. And their payment, PITI, is probably going to be about $800 or so. And then I also have a notes tab open so that we can obviously take notes. So here we go. Let's find his number. Mr. Kevin. Kevin, 314-267-4360. My phone's not working. There we go.
Hello, it's Kevin.
Hey, Kevin, this is Austin. I was texting you yesterday and earlier this morning.
Okay.
About 13th Street. You have a unit there, unit number 708. Okay. Did I catch you at a good time?
Yeah, I'm just driving.
Okay, awesome. Hey, so my wife and I, we live in California. And we have some units in a few states. This is kind of where we're trying to hone in on. So we had just earlier this year got a Airbnb in Kansas City, and just 2 weeks ago got another Airbnb in U City, closer to you. And so we're looking. That's literally what we're looking for. We're looking for units that we can buy, that we can do some kind of short-term rental or corporate rentals for traveling business professionals, and that's kind of our niche. That's where we want to stay. And so this looks like a solid kind of fit for what we're going after. Just want to kind of get an idea from you, kind of what's the story. I know you said your clients they used to live here, and they were...
Yeah, so I think before they got married, it was his place. They got married, they moved, and then they've had it as a rental since.
Got it.
The furnishings that are there are pretty much his. They left it furnished. They rented it out furnished.
Wow.
But I don't know. I have to check and see if the complex allows for short-term rentals.
That's what I was just thinking. Because most condos, especially with an HOA, have an issue with that. I don't know that it really matters, but they do. That's their red tape.
It becomes more political than anything.
Yep.
But
of course.
Let me check and look into that and find out. I believe that complex does.
Okay.
I'm just because I think I've seen stuff that is set up as short term, but that doesn't mean it's in the bylaws that you can. You know,
sure.
Sometimes people do it anyway. But
of course,
yeah, I'd have to look into that, and I can. Let me see if I can get a hold of the bylaws, and I can. Did you send me? Will you send me your email, and I can always send you a copy of the bylaws too, so you can read through them.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and text you over my email address, and then, I mean, even if it doesn't work for a short-term rental, I know we can do mid-term rentals, and that's not really in the. It's not really in anyone's HOA about mid-term rentals.
Yes.
Do you know if? I mean, did they? I'm sure they didn't set out to be landlords, but did they? Do you know if they kept records of like rental revenue, just so I know kind of ballpark?
I can find out. I mean, it's really
Oh, you're breaking up there.
You there? Hello?
I can kind of hear you.
I'm kind of a bit driving around. So when they originally called me, they had a tenant that was not paying.
Oh, wow.
So I helped them get the tenant out of there.
Jeez.
And then, of course, we sent a crew. We sent a crew over there to clean it up and kind of restage it with all of the furniture that was theirs.
Got it.
Was there to get it listed. So
okay.
I can find out what they're renting for. I don't know if they've kept records, because
sure.
they were just I think, I don't think they do the rental game. I think they keep it, just, and then it turned bad because you got a tenant that's not paying, and they're out of town. Like, he literally was not responding to them not paying. So then when they called me, then I could at least go down there and start rattling cages.
Yeah.
And banging on doors, knocking on doors, and kind of, he didn't know who I was the first time, so he actually talked to me, and enough pressure was put on where he finally just, it was a fiasco.
I'm surprised you got him out. I've had to do, the whole cash for keys thing. It's not fun.
Yeah, and it was. They thought they were going to do an eviction, but he finally left, and he played one of these like, the unit's unlocked and the keys are on the counter thing.
Wow.
And we went down there, the unit was all locked up, and there was so we had to drill out the locks, and it was a mess.
It's the life of a real estate investor.
Yeah, he left the unit, and I own stuff and say, I have rental property, so this is just what you do, right?
Yep, absolutely.
If you own them, eventually you're going to have one that you're like, geez Louise.
Exactly. And if you haven't had that story yet, you're not a real estate investor.
You're not right.
That's how it goes, man.
100% correct. So,
oh, man.
So it was kind of a fiasco. That's why I think they're like, they're done with the rental game.
Sure.
It's not a bad unit, it's kind of a cool unit.
Yeah.
It's just, I can find. Yeah, and you can do. I know you can do, regular term rental. It's
sure.
Just, I don't know if you can do the Airbnb thing. I don't think a stipulation in there about short term, but okay. And I think a lot of the units in there they rent pretty easy. Right. From what I understand, so.
Okay, that makes sense. All right. Well.
The parking they have they have parking and stuff.
Okay.
So
that is a big deal. All right, let me do this then, Kevin. I'm going to text you my email address. If you can get, even if they have an idea, if you have an idea of how much they rented it for, if you could just text that over, that just gives me an idea of what I can do with it. And then, obviously, you know what the market's like. The biggest thing for me is going to see what my lender can actually do with these rates and figure something out. Because, Lord, I don't want to pay 7.5%. That's
No, I'll tell you, I don't know if they're open to it. I know we're seeing a lot of investors go this route here recently. I can talk to them and see, if there's a subject to possibility. Because I know for them, they probably want to just be, I think they just want to be out of it.
They want to be done.
I don't know what they, I don't know what they owe on it or anything like that, obviously. Sure. So the only reason I say that is a subject to may give them the opportunity that at least they know the loan's being serviced and taken care of.
This guy's selling himself right now.
This
is how you do it.
That's what they were getting as a rental, right?
Right.
And then, long term for you, you just get to a point where you go, okay, if rates get favorably or whatever, you just
refinance out. Yeah, Kevin, this is...
talk to them and see if that's something that might be an option for them. Because that, to me, I'd say that's probably a pretty good exit strategy for them.
Right.
Because it gets somebody like you that goes, okay, if you guys got a good rate, you're low, their payment's low enough, you throw a little cash at them and you take over their loan.
Right. Yeah, Kevin, what's crazy to me is, so I haven't been doing this too long. You've probably been in the game longer than me. I've been doing this for 5 years, and we bought 90% of our rental portfolio subject to. Yeah. and now it's, and it never was really too common with most brokerages, and I'd have to educate a lot of brokers on, the process of it. But now I'm seeing there's so many people coming out of the woodwork, like throwing these words around, and I'm like, where's everyone learning this from? Because it was a secret for a little while.
Yeah, so I was a real estate investor before I was a real estate agent.
Wow, okay.
And we used to do it back in the day, but it all comes down to interest rate. Like
100%.
Right now, if you get somebody that was, bought a house and pulled a loan on it in the last 5 years,
yep,
interest is at minimally half of what it is right now. So 100%. It makes sense.
100%.
And they probably, if the market's shifting in a way, in their market, if it's shifting in a way where maybe they can't, if they didn't put a whole lot of money down, they don't have a lot of exit strategies.
Right. Yep. They'll have to write a cash. Yep. Write a check at closing. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Nobody's going to do that.
Nope.
And so it does make for a pretty good option for investors because you go, I'm not going to have to pay, $40,000 over listing price. I can get it at a fairly decent list price, take over their loan.
Yep.
Yeah, it makes sense. It totally makes sense.
100%. Man, okay. Let me do this then. I'll send you my email address. If you get any numbers from them on any kind of revenue, send it over. What I can do, I have this very basic kind of terms sheet that I like to send to give, some sellers just need to see it visually. What they would make, what they would be on the line for, all that. And then my biggest thing, Kevin, I want to make sure I always pay the agent's commission on a deal like this. So I want to make sure you're getting paid, bro. This is.
And it's funny because I've had this conversation on other properties that Redfin is a really cool brokerage because they're pretty easy. Like there is no dual agents or anything.
Right.
They just do it's 2.5% or $3,500 minimum.
Oh wow.
So I normally can get on a property like this, I'm like. The commission stays pretty low.
Right, of course.
It can be pretty low where we can work with it to where let's just get the deal done, make everybody happy, and we move on down the road.